Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another custom tactic to review today. Today is going to be Italian Stallions 4-2-3-1 wide formation, okay? Before we get started, I do want to mention that the players that you guys see here are not completely ideal for that formation. I tried to use that formation and tactic for this team that you guys see here. This is my Road to Glory account. I've been playing more on it recently since the last 3 days have been slower in regards to content. That 4-2-3-1 wide doesn't work as well for this team, right? I was using Giyu's account to unlock the gameplay objective cruise card, and this was the team that I was using. The defense I don't remember exactly, but it was something like this in regards to each position being their own thing, right? And I'm gonna explain why this team actually works for the formation and tactics that Stallion actually sets up for his 4-2-3-1, while, you know, the one that I have, not necessarily, okay? So let's talk about a few things, okay? With the custom tactics, it is set up like this, right? So we have the 4-2-3-1 wide set up with 50 for width, 54 for depth on balanced defensive tactics. The offense is on balance for build-up, and the chance creation is on direct passing. So if you take a look and read what direct passing is, it says once the team enters the attacking zone with possession, players will create chances by making runs for passes into space behind the opposing back line. Strikers who are fast with good attacking positioning attributes are the best at this tactic, okay? In this case, we're using Timo Werner up top, okay? So it's very, very important to mention this. With this team set up on 37 for width and then 6 for players in the box, it should make for a very interesting team because of the way that he sets up his instructions. The instructions for the team is going to be balanced for the more attacking-oriented fullback. We're going to have stay back while attacking for the more defensive-oriented fullbacks. They're not completely susceptible to counterattacks all the time in those side positions because of the way that the rest of the team is set up. The CDM, here's the important part. The CDM, who is more defensive oriented, you want to keep him on drop between defenders, free roam, as well as cover center. The other CDM, you want to have him on get forward, cover center, and drift wide, who is your more attacking oriented player. Now, the thing that I noticed for this team is that this doesn't work that well if this guy is not a super defensive oriented player. So with Valverde, he has the high work rates, right? So I'm going to show you guys right here. Valverde has the high work rates, and for me personally, again, some of you guys can even try this, even it might actually work out really well for you, right? But for me, the high work rates is not it for a card playing under those instructions. The way that he was positioned on the field, it just wasn't good for his base characteristics in regards to the way he was moving across the pitch, right? So with Emre Can was different because Emre Can has the medium high work rates, right? And that's going to be very important. Medium high work rates with a 4-star weak foot. Yes, his pace is really low for acceleration, but it was just for the sake of the objective of trying to score with the midfielders and whatnot, right? So with Emre Can, we had him on the shadow chemistry style. Acceleration is low, yes, but has the medium high work rates. The other player that we had in the center mid position, very important here as well, was Leon Goretzka's card, right? Why is Leon Goretzka very good for the other center mid? Because take a look at his work rates. He has the high medium work rates, right? So in this case, I noticed that De Jong was definitely moving across the pitch better on that get forward instruction, but Valverde was the one that was messing up the entire team. It was him and Correa and Dembele for this specific tactic, right? So we had to change that. Again, in this case right here, if you were to use this Goretzka card as the more attacking oriented player, yes, you could totally give him the shadow chemistry style because his dribbling is decent, taking everything into consideration, but he has the 4-star weak foot. He's 6'2", tall player, gets into those positions. You could actually potentially give him an engine chemistry style if his dribbling bothers you, because he already has some pretty decent defensive stats, and your movement when it comes to using this card on your team is going to be more attacking oriented anyway. So getting into those positions, dribbling quickly is going to be super ideal. That's why a player like De Bruyne, yes, doesn't have as many defensive stats, but De Bruyne could potentially be nice there because, again, getting forward, getting more attacking oriented, so on and so forth, right? So both of the CDMs drop between defender, free roam, cover center for the defensive one. The attacking one is going to be get forward, drift wide, cover center. The cam is going to be on balance instructions. You're not going to touch that. But for me personally, I feel like in this game this year, it is very important to try your best and get someone who is either a medium work rate player in that cam position, and that's going to be completely based off of playstyle, by the way, a medium work rate player there, or a player who has really good aggressive attacking AI. Fakir, if you guys saw in the player review, has great attacking AI. Wirtz on a Hunter chemistry style also has really good attacking AI. So for this team, it works out perfectly because Wirtz was on the Hunter chemistry style. This guy will move up the pitch. The only thing that's off with Wirtz is dribbling a little bit, but Fakir's dribbling is not crazy on a Hunter either, but it's worth it because you work around that specifically, right? It's not crazy, but it's still pretty decent on Fakir. On Wirtz, you got to work with it a little bit more, but it's still really good. That's the whole point. The whole point of having the cam is making sure that he has aggressive attacking AI because it works really well with the direct passing tactic, okay? So on the cam, it's on balance, but you have to play to base characteristics. Try to get someone like, if you want like a cheap option, you can get someone like Depay, right? Because Depay has the high-low work rates. Wirtz player of the month is great. Fakir is great. Try to find that base characteristic for that cam position, right? In the left mid and right mid area, for me personally, I think it's super ideal to have both of them being high work rated players just because of the balance of pushing up and pushing down the pitch. In this case, Guiu has Heung-min Son's card, right? So having Heung-min Son on the left side while Bernardo Silva's on the right side creates a really good balance in regards to pushing forward and coming back, right? Because you're going to actually notice that cut inside part a lot when it comes to these cards in game, right? So in this case, cut inside comes shorts for both the left mid and right mid. Going to definitely be a very ideal thing, because the thing about the come short instruction is that when you get around the 18-yard box, again, in this game, the whole point of it is trying to congest the middle area as much as possible, right? So that's why those instructions are being used in Stallion's point of view, because sometimes the left mids and the right mids in these formations do nothing, because yes, they're occupying the side positions, but your build-up needs to be strictly through the middle, and they're not really doing anything in those areas, right? So the cut inside, come short definitely helps out a lot. And then for the striker, we have a target man instruction. However, because you have the target man instruction and you also have the direct passing tactic, you need to find a player who suits that instruction a lot. Correa is not a target man player because he doesn't have that height and that physical aspect to him, right? Correa is more of a player you kind of have to let play freely, right? Balance instructions, don't touch him that much, right? Kind of let him do his thing, and he'll actually perform pretty decently for you for a very cheap option, right? This is why in Guiu's team, we had Timo Werner in the squad, right? So if you take a look at Timo Werner's base characteristics, one thing that we have to take into consideration is that Timo Werner is a really good runner, okay? So even on the finisher chemistry style, because of the high-medium work rates and the way that he moves across the pitch on 93 attacking positioning, he's a 5'11 player with a unique body type. His unique body type is not a thin body type. It's not a lean body type. It's kind of like above a lean. Like, he has some physical aspect to him, right? So the height, very important to work with, but he also has the 4-star weak foot. You guys know me. I don't really care if the card doesn't really have the 4-star skill moves. I just need him to be able to shoot and pass the ball really well with his weak foot. So the target man instruction works really well for Timo Werner on this tactic because direct passing will make him make those runs, which is a great base characteristic of Timo Werner, right? So very important to have a player like that. But also, you're going to notice that when we get inside the 18-yard box, players that have really good attacking AI at pushing forward with the direct passing tactic and coming back inside the 18-yard box in an onside position, that's going to be the most important thing to work with. So like I said, guys, on this team, it does not work. The types of players that I have, for me personally, I'm not a fan of. So the types of players you have in each position is going to be very, very important. So with that explanation being said, I'm going to show you guys some highlights, and we're going to be talking about the movement of the players and why it works out really, really well for FIFA 22. Okay, guys, so you guys are going to see some different camera angles because I was trying out some different stuff. I like telebroadcast. It's fun to use, but I like to see more of the pitch. So we actually switched to co-op 13 and 7, right? So you're going to see just from this area right here, the goal that we ended up scoring with Werner. I ended up recording super late because I was doing the Cruise Objective card. You're going to see how often Wirtz and Werner push forward, come back, push forward, come back, push forward, come back. I'm saying this 3 times in a row because that is the most important thing about this tactic, is having players that understand quickly to do that. Okay, so over here you're going to see with the build-up we have Bernardo Silva playing in the side position, Emre Can offering his support in the attack. Why? Because he has the free roam instruction, right? On the free roam instruction, he will push up and down the pitch from time to time, offering that support like I showed you guys in the 4-2-3-1 narrow with both of my CDMs, right? So look at the way that the middle is completely congested and how space is always completely opened up, and how the other CDM always offers that opening space as well, right? So over here we have the ball with Heung-min Son. This is general really slow build-up play. Nothing is really happening. So that's when you kind of have to pass around the 18-yard box on the outside a little bit more to create that space, right? So again, building up the play here with Goretzka, Timo Werner, Wirtz, always constantly using the middle position. Guys playing really defensive, but look at Werner, okay? Direct passing tactic makes him do those runs, but him doing those runs and coming back into position is what allows me to score those opportunities, right? Heung-min Son getting involved inside the 18-yard box because of the come short, cut inside tactic, right? So some very, very important stuff to take into consideration here. So we get the ball off here to Bernardo Silva, pass off with Heung-min Son. Again, Heung-min Son is absolutely gorgeous this year, brilliant card, so works to the instruction really, really well. We get a fake shot off here with Werner. We go for a power strike. We get really lucky because the goalie does some really weird stuff there, but not a bad goal to concede considering that, you know, we work the space as much as possible, right? So Emre Can, again, free roam instruction, getting involved in the attack. Wirtz, Werner, always constantly being in the middle, waiting for that space, waiting for that extra pass. In an area like this, you can see that we're going on the counter attack here. So I want you guys to take a look at a few things, right? We get the ball here with Wirtz, Werner already really well positioned on the high medium work rate, direct passing tactic to get into that position. But what you'll notice is that Bernardo Silva was actually there for the sweat as well. As you guys know, if you get really close to the goalkeeper, it's actually really inconsistent to go for a chip shot, right? So the biggest things that you have to go for is either the ball roll against the goalkeeper or the shot cancel. And obviously sometimes, depending on the distance between you and the goalkeeper, those can be very inconsistent. So again, even in a situation like this, you can see that from the general build-up. Look at the way that Timo Werner runs into space, the way that he understands the angles that he has to make the runs at, right? Even right there, I could totally pass the ball to Timo Werner. We don't end up going for it, but watch Timo here. Makes the run constantly, boom. Makes the run constantly, boom. Goes back, watch. We work the space here. Timo Werner with a small little dribble. He's already in a good position to score that opportunity. So the types of players, guys, that you have is going to be very important. Look at this. That's the cut. That's the cut inside instruction right there being played into effect, especially on that high work rate of Heung-min Son. He's going to understand that space well. First time pass here with Wirtz. Wirtz already points to the space. He sees the space open. Shot cancel again. Work the space, score the opportunity. So it's just a really, really fun tactic to use. I love the way that the team moves across the pitch because of the individual instructions that are set for each player. Look, even the build-up right here through the middle, Werner's already really well positioned for this one pass, one touch, and a nice little strike across the goal, right? So definitely very, very nice. The one thing that I will say about this formation and tactic, guys, that can be a problem from time to time is that because you are playing a wide variation of the formation, if you are not using good or solid oriented CDMs, right? Like in this case, we had Emre Can and Goretzka, so it was okay, but Emre Can would have to be changed out for someone who is a little bit faster. You're going to be vulnerable in the defense in that middle position. You will notice it 100%. And that was another big thing of why it didn't work for my main team on my account. It works really well for the narrow 4-2-3-1, but this 4-2-3-1 that's wide, you need players that understand that space really well, especially on the medium-high work rates for the defensive-oriented player, and then the high or high-medium for the other one, right? But the tactic definitely works out really, really well. Okay, guys, so that concludes the video for today. Again, guys, this is Italian Stallions Tactics. We're going to be leaving a link in the description down below as well as the comment section, so be sure to check him out. Really cool dude, streams from time to time as well, and very, very solid at the game. So it was interesting. I wanted to try out these tactics because he plays on old-gen FIFA, so I was like, old-gen gameplay is very different to new-gen gameplay, so I wonder if this is actually going to work. It does work on the new gen, but like I said, guys, in this whole video, you need those certain types of players for this formation to work out really well, okay? So try your best to get the players that I mentioned, and I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. It's really, really solid for what it is. So would I use it in the top divisions? I would if I had the specific players. The only thing is that I really feel like the meta of this game is very park the bus oriented, and it favors that play style, which is what you guys are going to see in the next tactic video, right? And it's park the bus, but it's also like really good attacking AI in certain positions that you really need, which is why I kept mentioning how the aggressive oriented cam, awesome. High medium and a striker, that type of stuff, very important. Okay, so in the top divisions, the one thing that I think I wouldn't like is that because people try to utilize the middle spot more because they use the 4-1-2 and 2s, the 4-3-1-2s, it kind of exploits that middle area a lot defensively. It does help you out in the attack, but there's moments where it's just not going to be worth it in general, right? But it's one of those things, guys, where, you know, if a situation is brought up and you're not comfortable with it, you switch, right? Because you shouldn't use just one tactic the entire game, unless it's the 4-2-3-1 narrow. That is probably the most balanced one in the entire game for pushing forward and coming back in the defensive positions, which we will talk about in the next video. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, be sure to check out Italian Stallion's video. Definitely world-class stuff. I love how unique these tactics are. Very cool to work with. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.